Hi, my name's William, and together with my fiancée Laura and my brother Andrew, we run the attachment company. This is Week to Week, the series where we take you behind the scenes of our business. This is episode 27, let's go. First things first, Monday morning, this Simex VSE screening bucket is going out to customer for a demo this week. I'll link it up here if you want to go and watch it, but way back in one of our first ever episodes, 3 I think, we took one of these down to the Yorkshire Dales to a customer and done an on-site demo. We'll cut in some footage here let you see it. If you want to go see the full episode, click up here, I'll link it up here somewhere. That's ready to go. It's on a bracket for a 3CX size. It's going on an 8-ton excavator. It's fitted with the aggressive tools, or what Simex would call the aggressive tools. And this has the ability to change the output size from the cab with this little box. So fairly simple setup when it comes to that. 3 hoses, 1 circuit plus a case drain, and then the electric cable for the size adjustment. That's ready to go. We've got some more brackets down here for some other bits and pieces. I'm going to get this bucket out, customers coming in about half an hour, and then I'll work on the other couple of orders for this morning. Screening bucket is away, customers have been in and picked it up, packed another small order, a 300mm S4 Auger and a double pin cradle, and we're just in the middle of packing up a little Cangini Flail. This is a TC1-60, the 600mm wide flail with swinging hammers for a Kubota U27 in this case. I'll link it up here, but there's a full video where I go and use one of these on a 2-ton Hitachi. If you want to go watch the whole video, we'll cut in a little bit of footage here. But this is almost ready to go. I need to bolt the hitch bracket up, put some hoses on it, and it'll be good to go. 2 out, 1 in this morning. The couple of orders you seen earlier going out, and the Simex PLB 350 planer in. That's the one we're making the bracket for, or we're painting the bracket for I should say, here. So good to see the planer in. We'll get the bracket on that tomorrow, get the hoses on it and get it back out. Tuesday, we're in the warehouse, kicked off the day by fitting the hitch bracket to that Simex planer. Also packed up a small order for a log splitting cone that I forgot to fill and packing it. And we've got another delivery. Not much to show you just now because they're wrapped up, but they are some more Slanetrac attachment. Not much exciting to show you just now until I get some of them unpacked. Some of them are for here, some are for the US, so they'll need split up at some point once we work out where to put them. Some of them are going to the US with those tree shears that arrived a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, cool to see them turning up. The planer that we fitted the bracket on is pretty much ready to go. I need to pick up some hydraulic fittings and hoses for that in the morning, and it can probably go tomorrow, if not Thursday. Other than that, the big thing we need to get a start on today is taking apart the little GB breaker that came in from a customer. If you watched last week, you might have seen us working on the big GB breaker. Same customer dropped off a small one and we need to get it apart and get it checked over. So I'm going to get it in the warehouse just now, get a start on that hopefully, and then I'll show you around. So this is a little GB Breakers GBM60L. It was not supplied by us originally. It was supplied by the GB Breakers distributor for Scotland at that time. However, it came into us with a couple of issues. So this is exactly how we've received it. On visual inspection you can see, well, that's not meant to do that. That's meant to be up in there somewhere. Hence why the chisel is moving around the way it is. So there's clearly been one or two issues with this we can see just from looking at it. I'm going to make a start getting it apart, see what sort of parts we need to order. I'm pretty sure we've got the go ahead to fix it regardless, but I want to get a list of parts, get that to the customer, get them to approve the price, and then we can get the parts ordered and get it back together. So it might not be the prettiest looking thing, but we'll get it back to working order nonetheless. I've also noticed the pins have came out as well, so they'll need welded back in. Nothing we can't manage. I've got a couple of hours this afternoon. I need to be back in the office for quite an important meeting at 4:30, so I've got about an hour and a half here. I'm going to get this started, take it apart. I think what we'll do is we'll make a full length feature video just on the stripping, repairing and reassembly of this breaker, so stay tuned for that in YouTube in the weeks to come. I'll put a little bit of the footage in here in the week to week episode, and I'll obviously talk you through it, but we'll do a full in-depth start to finish specifically on this on a video on its own. So enough talking, let's get started I suppose. Right, that's a good start. I'm going to wait till I get a big battery impact gun, I should say, to remove those tie rod bolts. Yeah, I think this should make a good standalone YouTube video. It should show you the process start to finish, how we strip it, how we check it, how we put it back together, and then eventually test it. So it is 4:15, I need to shoot, get back in the office. As I said earlier, quite an important meeting, so I really cannot be late for it. But that's a right good start. We've identified some issues with it, and we can get the tie rods out, get the parts identified tomorrow and get them ordered. But unless anything unforeseen comes up that I'm not expecting, that's us done for Tuesday. Wednesday morning, we're starting off the exact same place we left off yesterday in the warehouse. Real positive meeting last night. We're working on some things to help our UK and our US business that hopefully should be really positive for both of them. I would like to let that progress a little bit, and then of course I will share it all with you. But for the time being, we're in the warehouse. Couple of orders, one order actually to go out this morning, a little auger, S4 Tungsten Auger. We'll get that packed up shortly, but first I want to get the tie rods out of this breaker so we can ID the sort of parts we need. Just to recap where we're at with the breaker, because I'm filming this over a couple of days. We've got the actual breaker unit out of the body, out of the box. I guess this is the body, we've got that out of the box. Taken the hoses off, released all the nitrogen gas, removed the chisel, so we're left with just the main part of the breaker. Next plan is get these tie rods out, disassemble this will come into three pieces, with three main sections, then we can identify what parts we need. But first I need to get a socket big enough to get these bolts out. That's us. It's almost midday on Wednesday. We've got that pretty much stripped as far as we want to. I'll give you a quick look around. I'll detail this more in the actual standalone video for you, but that's the main components of your breaker. Going to price up the parts for that, get them ordered, get them here, and we're putting it back together. In the meantime, I'm going to put this away at the moment while we wait for the parts. I'm going to pack this morning's order. Next on the plan for this morning is, as soon as I find one, this morning's order for a 150mm auger that apparently we've got some in here but I cannot find, which again highlights the need for more space in here so I can find what we're looking for. 250, 100mm, 250mm, 300, 225s, 150 S2s, 300mm S4s. Yeah, I see it all the way in there. I am going to choose not to put this part on camera, but I am going to wrestle 150mm auger out from in there somewhere. Give me a minute. Through the wonder of editing one 150mm tungsten auger. You've all seen these before on this channel, but there you go. I'm going to wrap that up and put a label on it. UPS will pick that up this afternoon. Then we need to go to Hydroquip, pick up some hoses for the Simex planer from the other day so we can get it out tomorrow. Done, ready to go. Hoses secured, hoses for the planer and for a flail that we need to dispatch tomorrow. Stick them in here. Also went to the blacksmith's, picked up a hitch bracket that was getting modified for the same flail, so I'll bring that in just now and I'll show you that in a minute. There's the flail bracket in question, modified the pins from 35 to 40mm diameter and drilled the bolt pattern in it for the flail. I should introduce what we're up to this morning. It's Thursday morning, we're in the warehouse again, just getting a little Cangini flail ready to go. This is a TC280, 800mm wide with swinging hammers, brackets on it, it's ready to go, hoses on it, and then I'll show you around. Nearly ready to go, let me give you the tour around. This is the hitch bracket that we had to get modified. This is a standard bracket for a Hitachi ZX26. It would normally have 35mm diameter pins in it, but I took them and got them machined out and put 40mm pins in it. This customer's machine is a little bit older and runs on a bigger pin size. I've then drilled the base plate out on that and drilled the corresponding base plate for the flail to bolt the two of them together. Easy changed if ever the customer changes the machine. Just buy a new top plate with the same drill pattern and change it over. This is the TC280, so 800mm wide, TC2 version with, if I can show you, the heavy duty swinging hammers. 2 seconds, get a better plan for this. There's some light. The heavy duty swinging hammers, you can see there. It is a belt driven flail, so you can see when I was fitting the hitch bracket, the hydraulic motor lives about here, the valve block back here. One single acting hydraulic circuit is all that's needed, no case drain. Motor drives a set of belts, a pulley here and pulley on the end of the drum here, and that's what drives the drum and makes it cut. That's the sort of roundup on the TC2. Stickers on it, wrap, tape, label, it'll be ready to go. It's going on a Hitachi ZX30 from memory, a 3-ton Hitachi. Should work very well on that, to be honest. We stock the TC1, the TC2 and the TC3 range of Cangini flails. The TC1 being this little one behind me here. They come in an 800mm wide as well, same cut width as the two we've just looked at, but a lot smaller at physical flails, a lot smaller unit in general, and it is a direct drive as opposed to a belt drive. So if it's heavier clearance work, big rhododendrons or gorse bushes or things like that, we would normally always recommend to go for the heavier duty TC2. Physically it is about double the weight of the TC1, so it's a whole lot bigger, heavier unit. That being said, if it's light duty work, hedges, vegetation, that sort of thing, you maybe only got a 2.5 ton machine, then the TC1 is perfectly adequate. It's horses for courses, depends on budget and the work you've got to go to, and sometimes just how much work you have to do. So pretty cool to get a few of them moving. Again, we stock these in here in the UK, obviously we also stock them in the US. Yeah, pretty cool to get some of them moving. I'm going to get this out, then we can finish up that planer and get it out as well. As I'm sure I've mentioned before on here, these Simex planers require one hydraulic circuit that come with 2 inch and 3/16 ORFS fittings. Stands for O-ring face seal. So you can see on there, there's a note, you maybe can see on there, let me try and show you this tripod. There's an O-ring on the male side, and that's what seals up against the flat face on the female side. ORFS, at least in the UK, is less common fitting, and we would normally get in the habit of adapting everything to BSP. So that is exactly what I'm going to do here. That's 1 inch and 3/16 ORFS female to a 3/4 inch BSP male adapter. What that means is, if the customer ever has an issue with a hose, it's far more likely they can easily go and pick up a 3/4 BSP hose than it is an 1 inch and 3/16. So it just keeps it easier. It means that we only need to keep BSP hoses, and if we need to supply a replacement hose for anything, we know what's fitted to it. Doesn't affect the performance of the planer in any way, it literally is just a convenience thing. So a couple of adapters on there, and then we'll get the hoses on. I've done this a little bit back to front. I should have tightened up the hitch bracket before fitting the hoses, but we're halfway there, so let's finish what we started. We'll get the hoses on, then we'll bolt up the bracket. Right, change of plan and change of jacket before I spill hydraulic oil on my good jacket. Let's cover in back off. We'll bolt this bracket back down, then we'll deal with the hoses last. We bolted this up. Well, we set it on the other day. This is the one we got made. It's a 3CX bracket, or 3CX dimensions. So 45mm pins, 345mm pin centres, middle of this pin to middle of this pin, 175mm wide. So they bolts are just sitting in there. Let's get a socket, tighten them up, then we can put the hoses on. On the subject of hydraulic hoses, just when we're fitting these, I've been weighing up the last few days the option to buy our own hose crimper. It is, got some prices yesterday when I was at Hydroquip. All in, it's about £2,000 for the crimper, or the swager, whatever you want to call it, and probably about another £1,000 for stock of hoses and parts and fittings. I don't know, there's pros and cons. I like to, when thinking about these things I like to try and weigh up the pros and cons. So let me know what you think in the comments below if it's something we should do. The big pro obviously being convenience. For context, going to Hydroquip yesterday probably takes an hour and a half. If you go straight there, straight back, time in the place. So that would be saved. It might take half an hour to make the hose yourself. You obviously save the travelling time, and you save a little bit of money on the fitting cost, on the hose cost. It's cheaper to buy the hose and the ends yourself than it is to get a whole assembly made. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking about. Don't know, let me know what you think in the comments. Fairly handy just to go to Hydroquip and get them made, and you know they're right, especially for bigger stuff like this. But it is, but we are spending more and more time doing that. These Simex, the G-rakes, what else? What did we do yesterday? Oh, and the flails don't come with hoses from the factory. The augers and the breakers do, so it's not an issue for them. The Slanetrac gear does. So it's not an issue for them as such, but it is, as we're doing more and more of the Simex and obviously a lot more of flails as well, it is a bit of a consideration. I think it's something, especially when we get some more space, that we should definitely consider. But let me know what you think in the comments anyway. This is a Simex PLB 350 road planer. I'll put the specs up here, but the 350mm wide planer with a bracket on it, forage ICB 3CX. This will suit machines sort of in the 7 to 10 ton range, or backhoes like a 3CX. And it is, if I can show you down there, fitted with the standard asphalt teeth for road milling. That's the second one of these in as many weeks, in the last 2 or 3 weeks, so cool to get some traction with these now and start getting a few out. Hopefully at some point I can get to site and actually get some footage of some working for you. Would be excellent, but in the meantime, there we go, pretty much ready to go. It just needs wrapped and labelled, and that'll be out here today. So thanks very much. I don't know if I'll ever be watching this, but thanks very much Stevie for the order, and Hayden for the order of the flail. It is very much appreciated. So all that's left, wrap this and get it out. Right, Friday afternoon, Woody and I have just popped up to the warehouse. Got a customer coming in for an auger. Going to look that out, going to get that to him. Nothing terribly exciting to update you on today. A couple of orders, a couple of nice ones that when they're ready I'll show you them, of course. Otherwise I'll look this out just now and I'll show you in a second. It is one of these 300mm S4 Hard Rock Auger with the rotating rock teeth and the aggressive Hard Rock pilot. S4 because it's a 65mm round hub and 300mm diameter. Yes! Good. Yes! Got it. Woody! Yes! Good boy! Yes! Good boy! Yeah. Bring it! Bring the ball! Yes! Yep. Yes! Good! Go on then. Saturday, back in the warehouse. Let me give you a quick run through what we've managed today. Tacked up Cleaned up and tacked up the parts for the mulcher foot. I'll quickly show you a little bit of that just now. Welded up an auger hitch for Monday. We'll paint that Monday morning, get it out with an order. That's us nearly done for the week. Tidied up a little bit in here, swept the floor out, and also brought the Slanetrac delivery in from the other day. So I've got to get Laura to give you a tour around what's in it. Yeah, let's go. Okay, Laura, tour us around what's been delivered, please.
So we have finger bar hedge trimmers.
Mm-hmm.
We've got 2 lengths, 2 different sizes.
No, just the one size.
Oh, why is it an what's an HCE one? That's an extension.
Yeah, it is
Put
an
that off
extension.
for now to get this right. So 2 metre, 210. Is that 210? Like
2.1.
it really seems shorter than that. Anyway, so 210, 2 finger bar hedge trimmers with 2 extensions.
Yep.
Those are mounts for skid steers.
Those are mounts for skid steers, yes.
Mounts for skid steers. There's 2 in there, I think. 2 in there. And then we have one of my favourite things is the quadruple paving brush, which hopefully we'll get used to that.
In the new design look.
In the springtime, yes.
What's the difference?
Oh, I don't know. It's on a round plate.
Yep.
Yes. It's on a round plate. I should know this, but it is on a round plate. And then, that's for cutting something because that's got a big saw blade on it.
Yes.
I'm not sure what that's for.
Trees.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So, good effort. That's yeah, 2.1 metre Slanetrac hedge trimming bars with the E1 extension and the MB900 mount for skid steers. We'll put a picture in here of those that were on display down at Plant Works. We'll put a couple of pictures in here and show you them. The RB88 block paving brushes, you've seen them before. I can cut a little bit of video in here of some of them working.
My favourite.
Big HS75 saw blade. We've never had one of them before, that's new to us.
There's an extra saw blade on top.
Oh, there is an extra saw blade on top. Extra saw blade for that. A couple of the RB80 power units. That's pretty much it. Some bits and pieces of spares and blades and things like that. Some of this stuff is going to the US, so that's why there are the 2 with skid steer brackets. They're coming here. They're going to go with the OMF tree shear boxes that got delivered a couple of weeks ago. So good to see that here, good to get it inside. No idea where we're putting it in the meantime, but can't sit outside getting wet. So yeah, that's us for this week. Good to get them inside, good to see them in. Busy week. Next week on the plans, we need to rebuild the hydraulic breaker that we started. Parts are ordered for it, they should be here start of the week. We'll put it back together, we'll find somewhere to put this stuff, and there's a couple of orders to go out Monday morning as well. So all in all, busy week this week, busy week lined up for the week coming. If you have made it to the end of this video, folks, thank you very much again. Where are you going? Thank you very much again. If you have anything you want to see in the future, any comments, please leave them down below. When you're there, if you could hit subscribe as well, would be doing us a massive favour. But otherwise, thank you again, and we'll catch you next week.
Check out the podcast also on YouTube. What is She Up To Now podcast. I really like it if you could give us some feedback on that too. And if you'd like to maybe be a guest on the podcast, I'd also love that too. Cheers.
Oh yeah, good shout. They're on YouTube as well. There'll be the videos below this one. There's, by the time this comes out, there'll be 5 episodes on there, 6 episodes on there. So yeah, go check that out as well. Let us know the feedback on that, and we will see you next week. See ya.